Again, welcome to the rNetwork call here for India. And we are super excited, guys, to have you on. My name is Dave Dove, and here with corporate, and this is the executive team that you get to hear from tonight. So we're really excited. More importantly is that we're excited for all of you. And thank you for all that you've been doing, the hard work, and everything you put into this. So this has been an anticipated time for all of us. And so this is the start of a beautiful future for all of us. So thank you for getting on here tonight. So without further ado, we're going to move right into this. We have our CEO, Mr. Trent Walker. And hold on one second. We have Mr. Trent Walker, who is our CEO of the company, going to be able to talk and share with you a little bit about the vision and the excitement of what rNetwork is bringing to India and how it's going to make a difference in all of your lives, but also everybody else's lives that you come in contact with. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the time over to Mr. Trent Walker.
Thank you, Dave. And a very sincere, warm welcome to everyone. I appreciate everyone getting on. Again, I want to reiterate from myself and the rest of the team that we appreciate everything you've been doing. We are extremely excited to see the building of the excitement all over India. This call, before I jump in officially to the discussion, the agenda, I'll be presenting here a PowerPoint in a second. I want to let you know on the call, you do have John McKillop, who is the Chief Revenue Officer, Luke, who many of you have met, who's the head of international expansion, Dave, who's introduced himself today, Roger, who's the Chief Marketing Officer, as well as our good friend and consultant on the ground there that's been helping us move along, Kamal. So you will hear from many of the team members today. Obviously, you've already heard from Dave, and you'll hear from John, Luke, and Roger, as well as myself. But again, I just want to welcome you guys aboard. Sincere warm welcomes to everyone. And, you know, it's been incredible to watch the excitement build in India and all over the country. So with that, what I want to do is jump into the PowerPoint here and talk a bit about what's going on from a structure perspective, the plans for India, the overall vision. So get the share here real quick. So from an agenda perspective, I'm going to start by talking about the vision, and it's really our why our network was formed, why we continue to do things we do, why we are so excited for the coming India launch, and I'm so excited for each and every one of you. I'll talk a bit about the structure that's come together over the last 3 to 4 months, and what that means for India, and talk about how we all are a global organization with local power. Then I will go into about behavior, mechanism, process, incentive, and really this is how we aim to accomplish the overall vision of the organization. And in that, talk about what that means for everyone on the ground in India and how we will be supporting you. I want to give you an update on all the progress that has been made. It's actually the largest slide. There's a big bulk of letters on there, but there has been a lot accomplished in the last few months. I want to say that obviously the COVID-19 has slowed things down a little bit, and I hope everyone is staying safe, and everyone is in my prayers to make sure that they're safe and healthy. And then I want to talk about our commitment to India going forward, and you'll hear from the team in both the India progress as well as the commitment going forward. So let's talk about the vision. Really, this was based on a revolutionary financial movement, and the idea was to shift the power and profit from big business to the individual. And we looked at this from a unification perspective and said, if we take the theories of old unions and said, if we can unify the masses, we're able to leverage exclusive savings and drive greater income for all who wish to participate. And really, this is about financial freedom for everyone. And people define financial freedom differently. Each individual is going to define that financial freedom differently. But our job at our network is to provide that mechanism and that ability and that network to go reach that financial freedom. Again, we talk about things like the powers in the network, and we believe those things because the unification is what drives the overall participation marketplace. We talk about really taking the profits and revenue of the organization that were traditionally held by big businesses and pushing it out to the masses. You'll hear me later in the presentation talk about an macroeconomic shift. Don't let those things distract from really, it's just a grassroots effort to say, if the individuals come together and we shift that power dynamic, that we can have a real impact on everyone's lives that's participating, and also drive an overarching shift from a macroeconomic and global perspective, driving towards reducing that overspending, lack of savings culture that has become widespread across the globe. So I want to dive into the global structure. And there's intentional words used here: global structure with local power. We are one team, we have one vision and one plan. What that means is when we look at planning for the organization, we look at what that means from a global execution perspective, but make sure we're pulling on local management, their expertise and culture, ensure cultural alignment, and making those modifications for local markets, as well as ensuring that everything we do has executive sponsorship, and the executive structure as a whole is behind supporting all the initiatives that we're driving on it within the country of India, and really leaning on the senior management team within India and the consultants within India to drive a local presence and execution and educate the global structure on what it means to have cultural alignment, the things that are important to people on the ground in India, and helping us acquire and manage the execution of those things that are going to be important to you. So we look at the two pieces of the equation. And if you look at 1 and 2, those things really need to work in a symbiotic nature. We have a global process ownership structure that says, and those are the people that are on the call, that says, for example, John, you own the field engagement, you own the communication, you own those things, but you have a counterpart on the ground in India that is helping you understand the cultural needs and helping you execute and providing guidance to the global structure. We have, for another example, Roger, who's driving marketing and saying, hey, we have all these marketing initiatives coming out, making sure he's getting feedback from the local power and saying, these are the things that we need to do. These are the things that are important to us. This is how we need to tweak what we're doing on the global initiative to really localize it for the people that are on the ground and the people that are helping, that all the charter members, to make sure we're driving the right practices. The way the global process ownership works, that really allows us to ensure process excellence. So sharing best practices, ensuring those things are driven to all the local teams. It creates alignment in the organization, which maximizes resources, and it creates a support structure for everything that's happening on the ground. And we're going to talk about some of the infrastructure things we've put in place and we continue to build specifically for India in a second. So our how, this is really, we have this vision, and all visions are only as good as how you execute them, and only as good as the ingredients you put into that vision. And it's always a process, a roadmap, a continuous improvement methodology to say, if you aren't changing every day and improving every day, you are remaining stagnant. And I have a quote towards the end about how change happens. So we look at 4 major elements here. One is behavioral, and that is, how do we change the behavior of people so that we can really change their savings and earning potential for the masses? It's really an idea that started early on, and it's turned into a slogan esque for the organization, and that is save where they can't and earn where they don't. And that is really, again, about the unification and getting people into the network so that those masses can, again, save where they can and earn where they don't. The mechanism that we use to make this happen is the participation marketplace. I'm sure you've heard a ton about it. But it really is just a purchasing environment with large savings where the network members can make the money from the purchases. And that's where you see the participation. When we look at the evolution of what's happened in the global infrastructure, some of the big names you hear about, AliExpress, Alipay, Amazon, all of these guys, it was a slow evolution to get there. You know, you started with the computer age, it went to the internet, and then social media came out, and the social media organization took what was our networks and capitalized on them and made a lot of money. And then you saw this evolution towards the marketplace, which is the two fastest growing industries right now, marketplace environments, which are aggregators, and number two, the gig economy, which is self-employed people. And I think that what we have here is this perfect storm within our network to say, we have this beautiful marketplace that will continue to evolve. And on top of that, we're working with people that are part of that gig economy, those people who are independent thinkers, entrepreneurs, and really looking to better their life through their efforts. And so we have this perfect marriage of the two, and that's really our mechanism to make this happen. Guys, I'm going to stay pretty high level. Over the course of the next several weeks running up to launch, you're going to hear from John, you're going to hear from Dave, you're going to hear from all the members to really dive in deep on what these mean. What are the verticals within the marketplace? What are the products we're rolling out initially? And what are the products we plan for the future? All of those things will come in future discussions running up to launch, which is right around the corner, I'm excited to say. So then we step into the next one, and that is process. This is, again, going back to the earlier vision statement. It's not an accident that all four of these roll up into the vision statement, that it's really about unification, unifying the masses to increase purchasing power. When you need an evolutionary change, that only happens when you have the power of the masses. And I'm going to geek out for a second and say, historically, what's happened is there's been attempted change through a tops-down pressure. We're now in our network saying that's not how change happens. Change happens through a unification of the masses. And we're going to create an environment where those masses can come together. And through that, we can now really influence people's lives and the financial freedom for people and financial well-being, and create a really incredible opportunity to save and earn. The last piece of this is to incentivize. We need to give people a reason to participate. We need to give people a reason to do these things off the cuff. We also, at the core of who we are on a philosophical level, is spelled out in our vision. Again, I use the word freedom over and over again. I use the word, it's about the people, it's about the people over and over again. And so we look at incentivize, it's really saying incentivize them so that they can better their lives. It's that income piece. Give the masses a reason to share, replicate, and earn from their efforts instead of big business. I'm a true believer that we make our lives what they are. And we should reap the benefits of our efforts. It's at my core. It's at all the other founders' core. It's at the executive team's core about when people put in effort, they should reap the benefits. And that's really what we've tried to create, is an incredible opportunity for people to save and earn based on their own efforts. There's this quote at the bottom that I use a lot, and it's a movement to increase the wealth and buying power of the common individual, thus shifting the balance of power from big business to the masses with a drive to affect the macroeconomics of the world. Again, it's that bottoms up movement, but it's really about the people. It's about the people involved. And at our core, that's where we stay focused. Are we doing the right things for the charter members? Every time we make a decision, we ask the question, is it the right decision for the charter members? Is it going to better their lives? Of course, the other offset is we need to be a sustainable organization. We will not be a flash in the pan. We will not be an organization. There's been strategic decisions made very early on to make sure there's sustainability, so that when people do, like you, put their hard effort into building an organization and building a business, that they don't have to turn around and do that again someplace else. The thing that's not on this slide that we talk a lot about is commoditization. And that is, traditionally in many of these environments, the products that come out can easily be commoditized. What I mean by commoditization is an organization selling a juice, then they're charging a high markup on it. And what happens is Coca-Cola comes along, or another organization comes along and says, hey, you know, there's nothing really special about the way you manufacture. I know where you get the berries. They manufacture the same thing and they put it in a convenience store for 75 cents US, right? And now all of a sudden that product's been commoditized, and all the effort put in by the people to build their business around that organization now goes away. The marketplace also protects us against that commoditization because we are not a one product focused organization. We leverage buying power to get to bring in savings and earnings into the organization. We have specific partnerships that we've struck on the ground, which we'll talk about in a second, in India, based on the consultancy there and recommendations that came from the on the ground team, to bring things to market that were told to us as being important to the people on the ground within the country. And we'll talk more about that in a second. So want to talk a bit about the India progress. I'm going to ask some of the other team members here to join in. Obviously, see, this is the slide with the most information on it. And I really do have to congratulate the team on the progress and the efforts so far. You know, with them being on the call, I do want to say thank you for the effort. I believe we've done the right thing. I believe we've kept our focus on all the members that have come in and said we really need to row and bring them to a place where their efforts can pay off. So for a moment, I want to turn it over to Luke, who's going to talk a bit about the registration process that we've gone through in India to make sure we're always doing things right. Luke, go ahead.
Hey, thank you, Trent. Yeah, real quick, guys. First of all, namaste. It's a pleasure to speak with you guys tonight. I'm sure that there are several hundred leaders on this call that, you know, I had the pleasure of being able to meet and exchange words and embraces with. So it's a pleasure to be able to address you guys. In terms of registration, you know, it's very important to us that, you know, at a base level, right, at the foundation level, that we do everything by the book, right? We want to do everything to ensure that, you know, what we are creating, this concept that we have, is set up for longevity. You know, that it's going to be something that will withstand any outside forces or pressure, and you know, it'll be something that you as charter members will be able to count on for years to come. So we have consulted, and we will continue to consult, you know, the experts in the MLM industry. And I think we've been lucky enough, I consider us lucky to have found contacts actually, you know, within the Ministry of Consumer Affairs that have been able to guide us throughout this registration and approval process. And we, you know, that's really important to us. And we have geared all of our strategies around these, you know, these individuals that have been able to guide us and help us and consult us, so that the company, as I said, is set up for longevity. The company is here for the long term, and you know, we will not hit any snags in the future as far as you know, our legal and our legal presence, as far as our approval process and registration is concerned. You know, we have all the T's crossed and all the I's dotted, and that's really important to us. And you know, we actually we took a lot of time, I know, getting things set up, but it was really important that we did it correctly from the beginning. And so, you know, I'm happy to say, as Trent alluded to, we're very close to, you know, to the end of this registration process, and very close to the time where we'll be able to launch officially as a company. So thank you for your patience and throughout this process, and just know that you know, we have your you know, we have the charter members and and the longevity of this company at the core of everything we're doing. So.
Yeah, so specifically, guys, you know, obviously we're in final stages of registration for our Network India entity. We will have a local entity that's in the final stages, as well as, you know, we have received pre-approval from the Ministry of Consumers Affairs and are in the final stages of the full approval. It is around the corner. We're going to, at the end of this presentation, give you a rough launch date. And again, it is around the corner, and I think the team's extremely excited. There's been a lot of effort put in to make sure we did this right for you. So I want to talk a bit about localization with local guidance. With the guidance of local leadership on the ground in India, we have integrated or brought on the leading payment organization to offer local pay-in options. So these are things like wallets. You know, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I think it's around 8 wallets that you can use. Obviously, local debit cards, credit cards. And we've worked with one of the leading payment organizations on the ground there in India to make sure when we launch, we have all the appropriate pay-in mechanisms for the team there. Also, again, sticking with the localization, based on recommendations and in-country work from our consulting partners, we will launch with local product providers to offer services and products which have been recommended by people familiar with the local needs and desires, while keeping to our global strategy. So really what this was approached to say, these are the products that we hold dear as our network, the things that we believe really impact people's lives, and then got recommendations and had people help us on the ground in India to make sure that we were providing products that fit within those genres. On the technology side, I'll let Roger speak a little bit about this on the changes that have been made onto the onboarding process and are already complete. But no, we've done that. We've also expanded our payout infrastructure to ensure that you get paid quickly and accurately from day one when we launch. That is our internal payment infrastructure. We've made contacts with payer networks in India to make sure that we can, again, pay you accurately and quickly from the first day we launch officially in India. I want to turn it over to Roger for a second, if you could, to talk about marketing from a local perspective, and also if you want to touch a bit on the things we've done to revamp the onboarding process to make sure that we are suiting the local requirements specifically for India. Go ahead, Roger.
Sure. Well, good morning, everyone. As Trent said, my name is Roger Taylor. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of rNetwork, and I am so excited to be with everyone here this morning. I know you all have unique and inspiring stories. I would love to sit down over coffee with all of you and listen to your story, why you're here, what your goals and dreams are, and I look forward to meeting you and hear your story and share mine with you. For now, this will have to do, and I've got a few items that I have the privilege of sharing with you today, and I want to jump right into marketing in India. My primary goal is to make sharing our network easy and fun for you. We have videos, brochures, easy to use tools that will make sharing easy for you. We don't sell at rNetwork. We share this vision and transfer that vision to individuals and allow them to earn and save with us. We will be giving marketing support for local products and the overall opportunity. We'll focus on the local in-country marketing, make sure that the tools and all of the tools and marketing materials are culturally relevant material, along with the continuing website updates. We have a large team, folks, supporting you in India. I'm excited to build a strong in-country marketing team to work with you. When a person joins our network, as Trent alluded to, this person will be taken through a 7-day experience that fully integrates them into our company, our culture, and lays out a clear roadmap for success. They will get reminder emails each day to continue their progress. And we've got technologies that we're implementing that you will soon be able to, it will be interactive as you learn and you grow into our culture. The onboarding process is, we've had to change it from our what we have currently India has a specific onboarding process. That onboarding process, all of you went through the old process. The new process that you will experience is that everyone, because of regulations, will sign up as a free fan first. So the first few steps of the process, as you are joining, you will join as a fan, you will receive a fan welcome email, and you will become a free fan of our network. All the people that you bring in will do this. Now, at that point, the process will continue. It will not stop and you will have to do anything. You will immediately go from a free fan and you will upgrade into the charter member process, which is about a 10 more step process. As you go through that process, you will pick the products and services that you choose. You will have options there that are very exciting that we can't wait to roll out to you. And then the process, it's a very simple process, and then you'll be a charter member. And again, once you become a charter member, you will go through that 7-day process. You'll get to hear Trent welcome you. All of the founders of our network are involved in this process. You'll get some bonus videos, but it's all video based with some assignments, and very excited for that. Everyone out there participating today, I just want you to know that I personally love turning marketing on its head. Our network's going to be an eruption of disruption, is what I like to think in the world. And you are all going to be a part of it. From this point on, most of the fires and challenges for getting started in India are quenched, and we are ready to serve you in your efforts. My friends, I read books, I meditate, I'm always trying to be better myself and maximize my freedom. When I'm in my CMO role, which is about 60 hours of my week, I'm always trying to better the opportunity, better yours and your new team members' experience. I work on concepts and products with our team that will ensure your success and maximize every charter member's freedom. I like to consider myself a rock mover. When I see rocks in the road, I remove them. I make the path easier for everyone who follows. And that is my commitment to you. Excited to work with you, and I'm excited about what we're going to be able to accomplish together and for you in the marketing department.
Thanks, Roger. So I wanted to just quickly segue and turn it over to John, who's been the last 2 weeks has been hair on fire, trying to make sure that we have a messaging and launch and ongoing communication strategy for India. Obviously, this meeting is a product of his and Dave's effort to make sure we start on the right foot from a messaging and communication platform perspective. So, John, if you wanted to say a few words about what we've accomplished in a short period of time in order to ensure the communication starts off on the right foot.
Yeah, Trent, I would love to do that. And as I said here in talk, I'm talking on behalf of myself and my partner, Dave Dove, who introduced the call. He and I lead up sales and a number of other areas within the company itself. And I think the first thing that I want to go focus on, or I just want to share before I talk about the communication that Trent's asked me to talk about, is that what's very important here is for those of you that are on the webinar, you're in India, you're in very safe hands. Each one of us on this call tonight, from the corporate perspective, have run global businesses. We understand about localization. We understand that we have to run this business out of India. We're not going to run this business out of the United States. You know best when to turn left. You know best when to turn right. You know what kind of product you need. We understand that, and we want to give you the grace to be able to make those own decisions and run this business out of India. We have no intention to run it out of the States. We'll be an overseer of it, but we're excited to build the local market with boots on the ground and to localize this business and hand it off as quickly as possible, because that's the fastest way for us to go from small to big. Now, we've been working very hard with Kamal and the local team there on the ground from a message with a messaging plan for India, and this call is a product of that effort and that plan. And as you're aware, we're very close to our official launch, and Trent will give you that date range at the end of the call when we anticipate an opening India. But you're going to see us become more engaging and communicative in the India market now in the days and the weeks to come. And as we move closer towards our launch, we're in the final stages of completing our strategy wrapped around our launch plan for India, as well as our ongoing communication strategy in the market. And these strategies and plan will be announced and discussed during our official India launch call, which will be happening very soon. So there's a lot more information to cover on the call here tonight. Trent, let me hand it back over to you. And I want to be cognizant of everybody's time, but we are extremely excited, extremely proud to be on this call with you tonight. And we have great, great plans, as we know that each one of you do as well. And we're looking forward to working with you and setting records in the industry.
It's 23 hours.
Sorry about that, guys, my computer. So I want to move from that, and thanks, John. I want to move to that to talk about the future commitment and really solidify that we are dedicated to you as a team. We are dedicated to building, as John said, the organization properly in India, and making sure that not only are there boots on the ground, infrastructure on the ground to provide that local support, but also make sure that we are doing everything that we can to support those boots on the ground from a globalization perspective. I think that we look at a few things, and that is bringing the best of all countries in the world together and offering that in a singular platform, and making sure that, again, it is localized and really the business is being driven and the needs are coming out of India. So I want to spend a few minutes talking about our commitment to you on this call moving forward. Luke, if you can just give a few words around the infrastructure and what we are looking to build here. And it can be quick because John hit on a few of them. And like you said, we need to be conscious of time. But if you want to go through the infrastructure piece really quickly, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Trent. Yeah, I mean, when building a solid and complete infrastructure, right, you know, there's several aspects that come into play. But one in particular that I want to mention and focus on is scalability. So, you know, our goal in laying the foundation of rNetwork India is centered in a strategy that creates an infrastructure which supports the massive long-term growth that we know that India is capable of, right? And as I mentioned previously, you know, we've consulted and will continue to consult the top legal and MLM experts in India. And, you know, it's important because we want to ensure that this vision and this foundation we're putting into place meets all legal and regulatory requirements and guidelines, right? You know, secondly, you know, at the core of any successful business is a solid customer service or customer support strategy. And I think that when it comes to, you know, an MLM business, it's even more important, more relevant, right? The relationship between a charter member and corporate is paramount. And it's a commitment which we take as serious as any other. So, you know, we will, wherever they are in India, you know, that they have access to the support and tools they need to achieve success and freedom, as Trent mentioned. So.
Yeah, and guys, I want to jump in here real quick and ladies and gentlemen, and just say that again, there's a few things that we are passionate about, and that is physical presence, local teams to support ongoing growth. That's the scalability that Luke spoke about, making sure that the organization can scale as you guys grow and as the organization grows, as we know it is going to. We already see it happening. We see the excitement. So we need to make sure that we can scale alongside that excitement. And on top of that, paramount at our core is on-time payments. The charter members work very hard to earn the income potential, and we are committed to making sure those payments are on time, accurate, and always there when expected. With that, Roger, I don't know, you touched on many of the things that you could also talk about in this slide in your last comment. If there's anything you want to add, knowing that this is the last slide before I close, if there's anything you want to add from a marketing perspective and making and further solidifying your commitment, go ahead.
Roger, you're on mute.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, just a few quick things to touch on before we go here. You're going to notice that the website that you will have is available in Hindi. The materials are culturally relevant. The 7-day instructional program is in Hindi, available in English and Hindi for you. The videos, many of the videos are already subtitled, and all of them will be subtitled in Hindi for you. We have marketing staff. I think I want to just reiterate. We have marketing staff hired in India right now working for me at this time. So we've got boots on the ground and we are ready to roll for you.
Perfect. John, I will give you the closing statements around engagement before I do the closing slide.
Trying to appreciate that. And, you know, hey, this is where the fun really begins, when we get to engage and begin to build. And woven into our launch plan are a series of strategies that are designed to give us maximum exposure and impact in the marketplace for each one of your benefits. And through our local team on the ground in India, we will communicate timely and pertinent pieces of information designed to keep you fully abreast of what is happening throughout the country from a knowledge, training, and a support perspective. And our launch plan and our ongoing strategy will include numerous online meetings and webinars like this one this morning, fully supported by executives in the company as well as upline leaders in the United States and there on the ground. We will put together a calendar of meetings and events which will be made available to each of you in the back office for you to utilize in the building of your business. And our plan is to also have on-the-ground local sales support based in India to support your local needs. So the bottom line is that we are here for you, we're behind you, and we fully support you. Trent, back to you.
Perfect. Thanks, John. Before I go to the last slide and the big unveil of the launch date, I want to say before I go to my closing that I want to sincerely thank you guys for being on the call. I will do that again on the final slide. Your passion for the organization is already showing. It's the reason, not the only reason, but it's part of the reason that we have worked tirelessly for you to make sure we delivered an appropriate launch, that we can finish the items that were on that prior slide, the India progress. And there's so much more that wouldn't fit on the slide. But I want to say that your passion is shown through. It is greatly appreciated. And I cannot wait to get going officially with you guys. You will hear more and more from the team as we get closer. With that, I want to say congratulations for being on the call. Congratulations for joining the network. And the official launch date will be mid-July. It is right around the quarter. More specifics will come through official messaging. But right now, the launch date is mid-July. You have the commitment towards excellent and constant improvement from the entire organization, from the on-the-ground support, the senior management organization, the consultants, the legal teams in India, to the corporate, the U.S. corporate structure and executive team. You have that support to make sure that you are successful. Guys, this is only the beginning. We haven't even officially launched, and I'll tell you, I can see the excitement pouring out all over India. I see it every day. I hear it through the conversations with people like Kamal and coming up through the uplines. There will be more to come as we get closer and continuously, as John said. I want to close by saying thank you for being here. And I leave you with this final quote, as I alluded to in the beginning of the call. The secret to change is focusing all of your effort, not on fighting the old, but building the new. I'm excited to build with you guys. I'm excited to build the organization and grow the organization with you. I'm excited to disrupt many industries and watch the vision of the organization take hold in India. Again, thank you for being on the call. And with that, I will close.
Good night. Good morning, everyone. Enjoy your day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you soon.